we have something pretty big here today. I mean, size-wise, I've reviewed a lot of fairly large items here. Mostly, it's a lot of deck boxes. This is also within the TCG realm. This is a 16-pocket side-loading zip binder from HHZ. We've reviewed some of their stuff before. I believe it was like kind of like a commander deck hotel sort of thing where it has multiple deck boxes in it. That product was okay. It was all right. It had its faults. I saw this was up for review, so I was like, let me go ahead and grab this, and we'll see if this thing is actually worth your money. This was sent over to me for free in exchange for a review. Unfortunately, the box didn't survive shipping too well, but that's beside the point. We're only looking at the product today. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to see if this is actually worth your money. Let me grab my little cutter here. Get this tape out of there. And if you want to, we could take a quick look at the description here. Acid-free, no PVC, portable handle, fits standard-size gaming cards, holds up to 832 cards, 26 archival, save 16 pocket pages. So this is gonna, it's a big binder overall, obviously. Premium quality padded covers, water resistant, Exotech material, never heard of that. Secure side loading pockets, heavy duty security zipper. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be holding a whole bunch of cards here. This is going to be a big fat boy. If anybody decides to try this, let's pull this thing out. Yeah, just to kind of give you an idea, do I have one of my smaller ones? I think I have a smaller binder here. And yeah, here we are. Here's one that's a regular 4-pocket binder, and you can see there's already a pretty big difference there. Yeah, size-wise, it is much different. Yeah, so definitely a bigger one here. Let's go ahead and keep opening this up. At least they did put a lot of plastic on it to protect it, so I guess that's not so bad. Oh, let's pull this out. Wow, look at that. That is a big old binder. Okay, let's see. It does have that kind of sort of grippy feel to it. And yep, it does have a handle right here. And this is this sewn in? Yes. It's sewn in here on the edges, as you can see. And it feels like, the handle itself feels like canvas. So it actually feels pretty good. And yeah, it is sewn directly in there. Not sure how clear you can see that. But yeah, sewn directly onto it, not just latched on. Wow, okay, this thing's big. Let me turn this over. I may hit my microphone a couple of times, so I apologize. Look at that. It's even got branding on it, too. HHZ. So it does have some branding. I am seeing a little bit of it. Looks like some wear there. Maybe it just kind of sat on a shelf for a little while. It got rubbed up against other stuff. But the overall cover actually feels really nice. It feels very grippy. Got a very grippy feel to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and crack this sucker open. Where's the zipper? Oh, here we go. Oh, it's got a little piece of plastic on it, too. Let me turn this around here. Yeah, it's got a little piece of plastic that I do have to remove here. If I can get the darn thing off. There we go. Okay. The little handle itself is just kind of a little piece of plastic. Nothing too fancy. Let's check the zipper. Actually feels pretty smooth. Pretty nice. Comes all the way around. Yeah, zipper actually feels pretty solid. Yeah, okay, so zipper works out fine. We do have some paper in here. Trying not to hit my microphone. Ooh, look at that red interior. I did not know this was going to have a red interior like that. Actually pretty nice. Ooh, wow, I can smell that now. It smells like new shoes. So yeah. All right, let me move these little bits of tissue paper out of here. And this thing itself, even unloaded, is a little heavy. It's a little on the heavier side, which is expected. I mean, it's a full giant binder, so it's got some weight to it. So just want to keep that in mind. So when you fully load this sucker up, this thing is going to be, I would say, exceptionally heavy. So keep that in mind if this is something you think, oh, I want to take that with me to like my locals or something. Yeah, just you could still do that, obviously. But you do want to keep in mind that it is going to be pretty heavy, so you're probably going to want to stick it in a backpack. And again, the overall size, pretty big, so it may not fit in certain backpacks. In fact, I will probably do a measurement here just to kind of give you an idea. I'm taking a look at these pages here, and they are of the variety that I'm not a huge fan of, where they don't really have much reinforcement here on these edges. Although I have come to realize that that's kind of the new standard in the industry now. So I'm kind of having to accept that. As far as the actual pages themselves, they are kind of glued / sewn in. Yeah, I am feeling some threading there. So they are glued / sewn in there. They aren't the ones that have, like, obviously this is not a 3-ring binder or anything like that. So these are sewn in. So you do want to try and take care of your pages, because if you tear a page, it's going to stay in here forever. So you definitely want to be aware of that. The interior, again, has that kind of soft felt lining like you feel like with deck boxes. This is exactly what that feels like. The stitching looks good there. I'm also taking a look at the stitching around the edges, and it's looking pretty good so far. I'm not seeing any sort of issues. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well built. And of course, it does have that cardboard end here. So you do want to be careful. Don't want to bend it and get a kink in it or anything like that, because that would be a real pain in the butt. But yeah, the pages feel okay. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do a cut here, and I'm going to load this up, at least a page here, with some cards, so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like once it has some cards in it. Okay, so we went ahead and we loaded up this first page. I apologize for the glare there. I know my lights are a little weird there. But yeah, that's what the page looks like when it's fully loaded. As you can see, we got a total of 16 cards on this front page. I also filled up the back here. We got another 16 cards here, so you get a total of 32 cards per page there. So that 832 card limit, I believe that they had mentioned, is going to hold up true there. Now, of course, you could try and stuff more cards in there if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend that, but they're your cards. You put them in there however you want. But yeah, these are just standard size cards. These are obviously Magic the Gathering cards. They are sleeved. They do still have the sleeves on them, and they are single sleeved. They're not double sleeved or anything. So standard size Magic the Gathering cards with standard size sleeves on them. They fit in there just fine. They don't feel like they're going to slide out or anything either. The one thing that I did notice as I was loading this up is every now and then, whenever I was putting a card in there, depending on the side in which I was putting it, sometimes the edges, the little corners here from your sleeves, may catch on these little divots here. So you do need to be a little bit careful where you're loading this up. If you've used binders in the past, you probably know what I'm talking about there. So yeah, whenever you're loading up cards like this that are sleeved, and I personally prefer to put sleeved cards in binders like this. I know some people like to do just the loose cards. If that's your thing, you go right ahead. That's just not something I like to do. But yeah, if you're going to be using sleeved cards, just be a little careful when you're putting them in there, because if you try to shove them in there a little too fast, they may catch on one of those little divots, and then, you may kind of potentially damage your card. So do be careful with that. But yeah, I mean, it feels fine. It looks perfectly fine. The pages flow without a problem. I'm not seeing any sort of issues there. Unfortunately, I don't have enough cards to fill up this entire binder, although I might put this into service for another use, but we'll just have to see. But as far as I can tell here, I mean, I'm not seeing any sort of major problems with this. The product itself is well made. The zipper's good. The stitching's good. The pages are, like I said, not necessarily my favorite types, but they do work. They're fine. I think as long as you're, reasonably careful with this binder, it's going to last you a long time if you decide to get it. Again, when you fully load this thing up, though, it's going to be heavy. So just keep that in mind if this is something that you're going to be taking with you to like your locals or your regionals or something. And then, like I'd mentioned before, it does still have that little handle there on the outside, which is really, really nice. It feels like it's really kind of laid in there, too. Like I said, it is stitched in, so pretty good. So what do I think overall about this product? I think it's good. I think it's fine. I see nothing wrong with it. The cover's nice. Stitching's good. Has a really nice capacity. If you're in the market for a binder like this that holds a much larger amount of cards, again, 16 per side and 32 per page, I would say this is actually a pretty good option there. I will leave an affiliate link down in the description. If you decide you want to go ahead and take a look at this binder, I think it's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with this thing here at all. Definitely, overall, a little bit better than their other product was. So yeah, I can definitely recommend this as something that you may want to try if it suits your needs. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, all the other good YouTuber stuff, and we're going to see you next time.